Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I'm going to do a quick video just describing the basics of ATC, as there's still quite a few people who are unfamiliar with the structures, things like top-down, and just basic maneuvers and whatever. Even if you've been doing ATC for a while, I would recommend you just watch throughout most of the video. There might be some things that you've missed or things you didn't know that you could use in the future and help to adapt your skills. So there's three types of ATC, or three types of controllers that you can take position on EC24. In real life, there are a few other examples, and I'll go over that in a more in-depth video talking about ATC, but this will just go over the three basics that you will use in EC24. So you have a ground controller. They deal with the aircraft on the ground, including your IFR services, VFR services, taxiing, and any other ground information. So that could be emergencies, anything like that. You've got tower. They deal with aircraft on approach, takeoff, and general flying in the airspace. So if a VFR is low flying above, I think it's 3,000 feet, something like that, then they'll stay with the tower. And the tower deals with any operations or emergencies with ground crew, anything that happen on the runway or past the initial holding point. Finally, you have center or control. They deal with the aircrafts in the air, so pretty much anything in any airspace. So you can have Rockford airspace. They'll deal with everything that's above that 3,000 feet sector. And when an aircraft isn't in a specific airspace, so they are on an approach or takeoff, or say you're in Rockford, there was no Mellor tower, center would take over that, deal with it. So IFRs and VFRs, the two biggest things you'll come over. The hardest thing to learn, probably, once you've learnt it, you can do them off by heart, and they're stupidly easy once you've got it. So all they are is who you are, where you want to go, and how you want to get there. So that's what people are going to come to you and make a request for. So an IFR is mainly used by larger aircraft, such as airliners and cargo, because they're a lot bigger. It's a lot harder to see. And they fly by things like waypoints, VORs, and standardized approaches, so SIDS and stars, using RNAV charts, whatever floats your boat. And then VFRs are smaller aircraft, so your general aviation, your 182s, your DA-40s, helicopters, anything like that. Could be flight schools, flying for fun, sightseeing, whatever it's called, bushcraft flying, anything like that. So to see information, you need to understand what the aircraft's intentions are. So, requesting an IFR and a VFR. So I'm going to go through a quick example of requesting an IFR. For this example, you can see the call sign on the left is Sierra Bravo 496 in a 787 flying VFR from Rockford to Perth at 5,000 feet on GPS Direct, squawking 1645. So Sierra Bravo 496 is going to make the IFR request, and then the ATC will reply. So Sierra 496 requesting IFR to Perth. Sierra 496 or Cliff IFR to Perth via GPS Direct. Climb initial 020. 5 minutes after ascend 050. Expect 25 left for departures. Departure will be with me, squawking 1645. So that's all you need to say. So in each of the brackets, you can see that's variable information. So you're given the clear to wherever they want to go. Via, if they file the route, you could say via the file or via file the route. Climb initial, so how high you want to initially go. So I've said 2,000. 5 minutes after departures, they will climb to their other one, so it could be 5,000. Sometimes you can give them a direct climb, so when they take off, climb direct, 5,000. It's whatever floats your boat, and it depends on what you're controlling and what the circumstances are. Expect the runway you want for departures, so it could be 29 at Perth or Pt.1 at Tokyo, whatever it is. Departure will be with, so it could be with you if you're on center. If you're on ground, you could say with tower on Perth Tower 127.4 or anything like that. And then the squawk code, you'll be given the squawk code on the flight plan from 24 Scope. If you haven't seen the 24 Scope video, I'd recommend you go and watch that, give you a basic idea of how to use that, as that incorporates a lot with this video. So, once the tower is given the aircraft their IFR, the aircraft will read it back. So climb initial 2,000, 5 minutes after departure, said 5,000, expecting 25 left for departures. Departure is with tower, squawking 1645. Tower go. 463 right correct. Push start at your discretion, tail left. Or it could be tail north, oh, face north. Or you can either have tail direction or a facing direction. So it could be face north, south, east, west, or tail left or right. Sometimes they might say, instead of pushback at your discretion, call me for push. And then you can say push start approve, face north kilo. Anything like that. Simple. So, taxi instructions. I'd recommend you just spend some time looking at the different charts and familiarising yourself. They're quite simple. All the lines or all the areas of the taxiways and the runways have their own identification. So you can see you've got Kilo, Juliet, Juliet 2, Juliet 1, Echo, Foxtrot, Golfs, all of it. And then their branches. So when you want an aircraft to go wherever, if they don't tell you the stand, you'll be able to see on 24 scope. Again, go watch that video. So for example, if this aircraft was at stand 13, you'd give them the pushback, get them to north on Kilo. So this is north up here. So they push back, face north, and in Kilo, Alpha, Alpha 5. So we'll just do a quick example. So speedboat 4963, taxi by Kilo, Alpha, hold you at Alpha 5. So they're coming out by the Kilo onto Alpha, and now waiting at Alpha 5 for departures 25 left. Again, the aircraft reads back. Land from weight 25 left, so the aircraft's from Alpha 5. I'll line up on 25 left, get ready to go. Again, and then clear for takeoff, and they'll be given the winds. So you're given the surface winds. The aircraft doesn't need to read it back, but for example, I could say speedboat 463, takeoff 25 left, surface wind 020 at 3 knots, and they'll just say clear for takeoff, winds acknowledged, or they might not even say that. They'll just say clear for takeoff. Vectoring. So this is one of the big things that you'll use to guide aircraft. Sometimes they'll fly by themselves, or on GPS Direct, or on their filed waypoints, or on the sit and start. But if you're giving them a vectors, then you can tell them where to go. And it's simple as 463 left turn 250, or right turn 180, or right turn 360. Anything like that. You just give them which way you want them to turn, to left or right, and then the heading you want them to go. Again, with the ascend and maintain or descend and maintain, you can have them ascend to 5,000, or you can say climb to 5,000, or descend to 4,000, and set it however you want. When an aircraft, if you're controlling center and an aircraft comes in, you can just say follow the 6 tree, radar contact established, Perth center, anything like that, and then get them to maintain the current heading, maintain the present heading, or however you want to do it. So again, you've got vectors up here just for what you're using for an approach. So when an aircraft is coming onto an approach, whether that be on center or tower, you can tell the aircraft, expect the approach for 25 left. Sometimes you'll say expect the visual or the ILS, depending on the type of aircraft. If it's a small aircraft or a GA, I would recommend the visual because a lot of them won't be equipped with an ILS, and then larger aircraft. So you could say, follow the 6 tree, expect ILS localizer approach 25 left. Then I'll read it back. Close approach 25 left, contact on final. So once the aircraft says that they've intercepted the localizer, which is the line going up to the runway of the ILS, they will contact you. After that, you can hand them over to tower, and then the tower gives them the clearance to land. ILS and visual, they have no difference in ATC 24. Every aircraft has to land visual because there's no such thing as an ILS at the moment. There's a few little API jiggy things, but no one really uses them. So the best way to remember it, big planes, ILS, small planes, visual. Boom. Just some extra things to go over. So check-ins, so if you're on center and an aircraft comes into your airspace, you can say 406 tree, St. Bart radar, good afternoon. And that's just giving them a nod to say, I see you, I know you're here. Sometimes the aircraft will speak to you first. If they don't, just check in with them. If they're not the frequency, you'll have to go and find them. Frequencies again, so every channel has a frequency in the Discord. If you watch the scope video, that explains it a little bit more. So Rockford Centre 124.85, Perth Tower 127.4, Tokyo Ground 118.1, so on and so on. So just learn your frequency and learn the frequencies of the airfield you're working at. So if you're on Rockford Ground, just make sure you know Rockford Tower and Rockford Centre's frequencies and have them written down I think it's best name. Airspace, again, this has corresponds with scope. You'll see your airspace on scope, so you know that you can only control aircraft in that airspace. And then just to wrap up, if you're new to ATC, I would really recommend. I know it doesn't feel great and it might be a bit boring at first, but do not, under any circumstance, take on a big airport as your first time. Things like Rockford, Perth, and Tokyo are very busy. They are very skillful pilots and controllers who come in and out of there every day. If you go in there and start being slow, they're not going to appreciate that. People will get angry at you. People will be annoyed if you're slow, but that's just all part of the learning curve. I'd highly recommend taking over something like Islerani, St. Bart's, or Cyprus, or Southampton and Greenwich. Any of those smaller, more less busy areas, just to build your skill up. And most people that fly there are a lot more respectful and understanding. So, thank you for watching. I hope this does support you in some way at all. If there's any other questions you've got, either wait for another video to come out or just pop me a message in the comments and I will try and get back to you. Obviously, as everyone says, just like it, subscribe it. It makes a big difference to me and I really appreciate it. And yeah, so have a lovely day and I will speak to you all soon.